Good morning. I welcome the children to come and join me for a time together this morning. You can see I've brought some games with me today. I don't know if you've maybe been playing some games together as a family during COVID, maybe during the holidays. It's a tradition in my family. It's something I enjoy doing, and I think it's something that I grew up with. So I enjoy playing games and gathering around together. I know a lot of games end up being online or video games, but these are the kind of games that I like, where you sit around a table or play a board game. Maybe you've played Jenga, or my favorite, Rummikub, because you have to use a little bit of thought, or some sort of a card game, or Skip-Bo, or maybe the game of Sorry. We had that growing up. I don't know if you have that game in your house. Do you remember the game of Sorry, where you're moving along, and then somebody can knock you off, and you have to go home again and start all over? And it can be really frustrating at times when you're playing games, because it looks like you're ahead. It looks like you might be winning, and then all of a sudden you have a setback. It feels that way sometimes with Jenga. You find the right piece that's loose, you take it out safely, and the tower doesn't fall. And somebody else takes their turn, and they repeat. And then the very next piece that you choose and you take might work, and at other times, if you take it out, it makes the whole tower fall, and you've lost the game. I think that sometimes that's what it feels like to me in life, that you're going along, it feels like you're winning, things are going well, and then all of a sudden there's a setback or something unexpected that happens, and you're not sure where it came from, why it happened, or what its purpose is. And it's difficult sometimes to know, how do we deal with those things when things are going well and all of a sudden things feel like they're falling apart? Sometimes I think even in this week, it's felt like things are falling apart. And we thought we were going along, and maybe you had a really great holiday and you're hoping to go back to school, and you ended up online again because of the COVID scare and the virus that's still around, we need to do things to help keep us safe. And we know there's things that happen in our government that make us feel like we were going along so well, and then all of a sudden it feels like things are falling apart again. What happens in those moments, and where do we turn, and what do we do when we're going along, feels like the game of life, and all of a sudden we're losing again, or we lost, or we have a real disappointment? I know that for me, that one of the things is to realize that I don't understand, but that's the way life is. It's the way we experience it, that we have these moments of disappointment and sadness and setbacks, and we feel like we're losing. And so I turn to God in prayer in those times, because I know that God is with us. And the other thing that I do in those moments is that I turn to the people that are the most supportive in my life. I turn to my family, and I turn to my friends. And that's also why we're here together as a church, that we have one another to lean on, to talk to find support and love from when we have difficult moments in life and setbacks, and when things were going along, something happens. And it's a reminder to all of us of the importance of our church, our families, our communities, those who love and support us the most. And I hope that if there's anything that you need, that you'll find that adult that you can trust, and that you do trust, that you can talk to. I've also brought along today, you can see these wise ones. And you might remember that they were a part of the manger scene for Christmas. And this week, on Wednesday, we celebrated Epiphany. And in the season of Epiphany, they follow the star in the Gospel of Matthew, and Matthew says this story, to go and see the baby Jesus, the birth of this child. And so the word epiphany reminds us that there are these moments in life where we see God. And one way to see God is to recognize something that's really beautiful and really good and brings you joy, and to pause and to look and to think about it and say, you know what, that must be God. And that is another way to deal with the things that fall apart and are setbacks, is to look for the goodness, to look for God. And it might be as simple as noticing the beauty of a flower. It might be laughter and joy that happens from playing games together. Any moment that is good, any moment that brings peace, any moment where you are just full of wonder and awe. Those are epiphanies where we recognize and notice God's presence. So I hope that in the weeks and in the things that are difficult to deal with at times, that you will look for God, for God's goodness, and that you will rely on the people you love and trust for support, and that you will just pause to pray and to say, this is hard, God, but I know you are with me. Thank you so much for joining me and being with me today. And I hope that you'll be inspired to go grab a game, grab your family or friend, or go online and call or talk to somebody today.